What's up YouTube, Capital G here, Duel commentary. A lot of people have been asking me to do more OCG duels, and you're finally going to get it. Alright, so we got Bing at the top, 1128, and Losers for 48. Losers milled with card, well, he opened Card Trooper set 1, and I think he hit Blaster, Needlebug's Nest, and one other card I don't remember. Being duality for mass change, an ice hand, and a Neil's alias. I believe he just took Neil's alias. So it looks like he's going to set 1. And he's playing Heroes, and I know that Heroes is a big deck in Japan, or it will be soon. And then you've got Lightsworn Rulers, which is a big deck in Japan. And seeing why. You see off this second mill, he hit a Quips Wyvern, Judgment Dragon, and Needlebug's Nest. So Wyvern's going to trigger. That gets him a JD, and he already has Blaster and Graveyard, so he can get the JD right now if he wanted to. He just banish, he can just banish the JD and banish Wyvern and summon Blaster, and that get him JD to hand. But he doesn't have any Lightsworns to use it with. Now I thought that was going to be an Ice Hand, so I wasn't sure. I thought it was one of the hand monsters. So Card Trooper dies. Neither player loses any cards, to be honest. Equips Wyvern can't get through, though. But when Equips Wyvern dies, it's going to trigger as well. Trying to consider playing this deck, this Lightsworn deck. Because, like, you don't have to worry about what you draw. It's like every card in the deck can kind of be used from wherever. You know what I mean? Like, if you draw Equips Wyvern, you don't really care. So down comes Neil's alias. I wouldn't be shocked here if we saw him go into Dweller. I really wouldn't. I mean, obviously he can just go attack. Okay, he's going to go into an Exceed. I just say Dweller because it's 2200 with Ice Hand, and then it blocks the Wyvern. Plus it can stop Blaster from activating too. So that would stop the Wyvern in his graveyard. I guess he's thinking about it. And hopefully this is a full match. If it's not a full match, I'm going to be pissed, and you guys will probably never see this video. Alright, he's just going into battle phase. I guess he figures, what else could my opponent search? You know what I mean? I mean, he can go, Lightray Diablos is a dragon, right? Alright, so he activates Needlebug's Nest. Kari Bandit, Jane, Garoth, Raiden, and Aaron. Holy crap, JD is instantly live. What a mill. He just, is it me or did he just mill 4 different Lightsworn names? Holy shit. So he does mill, or he does banish Lightray Diablos, who I figured was a dragon. And Ice Hand hits him for 14. Now I would really consider making a Vis Dweller now, just because of those 4 mills. Those 4 mills instantly made JD live. That's retarded. So you see he's going to Exceed. No Exceed is good. Okay. Oh, he goes Rhapsody. Maybe he's going to banish. Do they even have a target in this deck for Blaster? He's going to activate its effect twice. I don't even think they have. Like, you can banish Blaster, and that's what I was thinking. You can banish Blaster, and I don't know what else we want to what else you'd want to banish. But I don't even think they play targets for the E-Dragons. I think they just play the E-Dragons to summon Wyvern. Or to trigger Wyvern to get them JD and Diablos. Alright, so he banishes Raiden and Blaster. And again, I think, that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe you just go after one of the names. Because now he's sitting on 3 names, which I honestly think he can get to the 4th name. He has to have like a Lumina or a Lila or something in here in these 5 cards, drawing the 6, that can get him 1 name in the graveyard. And he might even have a Dragon Ruler in hand. Who knows? So Bing has banished 2 of the cards and loses graveyard. What is he gonna do now? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. Are you done? He's looking at his extra deck. What can you do with Rhapsody once it's been used up already? I mean, obviously, other than put it on an Exceed. If you don't have another Exceed, tough cookies, right? It's not much you can do. So Bing is continually looking at his graveyard. He enters end phase and he passes. And as good as a play as that was, making it so that losers couldn't use his Eclipse Wyvern, 6 cards in hand does kind of scare me, because he doesn't actually need to draw a Dragon Ruler. He can just mill it. There's his 4th name, I think. Okay, he mills Necro Gardener and Lila. He has to have 4 names now, because he has Garroth, Aaron, and something else in there. And Lumina. So, Lumina, Lila, that's what's it called. That's definitely a lot of names. Alright, so he banishes both Eclipse Wyvern for the Tempest in hand. That gets him Judgment Dragon and Lightray Diablos. Is Lightray Diablos? I feel like he's level 7. Like, can't you exceed with him too? If he's level 7, that's sick. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. Yo, my goodness, he is level 7. He drops 2 of them and Judgment Dragon. Damn. So he's going to attack with Tempest. And that's game if he doesn't have a response. Because the 2 Light Rays are 56. Judgment Dragon is 3,000. So that's 86. So that's game. And that's the thing about this deck. It can OTK its ass off, man. Especially because of Lightray Diablos just being, his attack being so damn high. And you load up your graveyard with a bunch of Eclipse Wyverns and stuff like that. And they count as different light names too. So then you've got your Lightsworn. It's funny, it took everybody so long to figure out that Lightray Diablos was the only one you needed to run. All those, I knew the Light Rays when they first came out, that there were so many of them. I was like, these cards are bad. But then it's like, Lightray Diablos, no, he's actually good. Alright, so Bing opens up with Monk, and he pitches Soul Charge, and that gets him a copy of Shadow Mist, which gets him Mass Change. Things could get interesting if he's able to summon Dark Law. Now, all he has to do is set that Mass Change and wait for his opponent to enter the draw phase, and then he can just play Shadow Mist. So he got himself a free Mass Change, and during the standby phase, he's going to activate Mass Change, tributing his Shadow Mist. He brings out the man, Dark Law. Damn, that card looks fucking badass. It's got like that purplish red background. That shit looks awesome. I've never actually seen it in like card form before. It looks really good. By the way, Shadow Mist is going to trigger. So he can get like a Neos Alias. And what's even better is he already has a level 4 on board. If it lives, you know, he'll be able to just go. Okay, so he gets himself another Shadow Mist. So now the game begins. What is losers gonna do? Shadow Mist is a real fucking, or excuse me, Dark Law is a real fucking problem for his deck. Especially considering this dude plays Needlebugs. He plays Needlebug's Nest, a card that is, its sole purpose is to mill stuff to the graveyard. You're talking about a card that can't even, what's it called? Wait a minute. Is Shadow Mist any hero but itself? I feel like it might be any hero but itself. Alright, he gets a Bubble Man. Reading is fundamental, kids. Which, Bubble Man is good because, again, if Monk survives, then he could go Bubble Man into Abyss Dweller and have, like, double protection. Now, I think that might be I think that might be excessive protection. Alright, so losers probably have some serious thinking here as to what he can actually do, because Dark Law is just like, yeah, dog, I'm that macro. Oh, by the way, don't think about adding anything to your hand. Don't think about using Rhoda for... Oh my goodness, he just... he just scoops the Dark Law. That might have to be the title of this video. 6-card scoop the Dark Law. Oh my god. It's crazy. It's funny, you know, Desana Nick was like, this card's not broke. Okay, yes, Dark Law is broken, dude. Dark Law is broken. You summon it against, if you summon it turn 1 against a multitude of decks like Boojins and Shot, they just scoop. Even if they have breakthrough skill, it gets banished, so they can only use the effect once. You know what I mean? Like, they have to breakthrough skill and then immediately kill it. You know? I don't know. No, wait. If you break through Skillet, I guess its effect. I guess it wouldn't get banished because the effect gets turned off regardless. That's pretty much the one out. I mean, granted, everybody plays breakthrough skill, but just if you're gonna tell me, hey, unless you have breakthrough skill, I'm gonna beat your whole deck, I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Alright, so Losers activates Charger the Light Brigade. He mills Needlebug's Nest, Blaster, and I think that was a Lightray Diablos. That's a card, by the way, he couldn't even activate last game because he can't pay the cost. Even if he could have paid the cost, would he have wanted to? I guess yes, because that could technically get him Raikou or something. If he plays Raikou, which I don't even think he does. Alright, so Charger the Light Brigade gets him Lumina. He plays Kari Bandit. I thought he was going to either just Solar Recharge the Lumina. I didn't think he was going to summon it. So, damn, man. He mills two more names. He milled a Lumina and an Aaron. He takes Solar Recharge. He also equips Wyvern. So, that gets him JD. And by the way, his Blaster is already loaded because he has Wyvern and he has Diablo. So, he can just banish those two, get JD straight to his hand. It's funny that equips Wyvern, like, what, 2 years after Chaos Dragons is starting to be like the shit again. You know what I mean? Like, that card is so good because even if you exceed with, he doesn't care how he hits the graveyard. It's just such a good card. So this duel is it's pretty interesting. I think Losers has two names in his he has two names in his graveyard. He has Aaron and Lumina. He has a Lumina in hand. He has a Solar Recharge in hand, so it's not like he even has to play the Lumina. He's just probably going to trade it in for more cards. Alright, so you see Shadow Mist comes down. He instantly match changes it. He's like, I can't wait. I'm going to match change this motherfucker and bring out Dark Law. Alright, so he brings out Dark Law, of course, best card. And he will be able to trigger... Whoa, why didn't you trigger your Shadow Mist? It just hit the graveyard, bro. Why didn't you trigger it? Okay, so now he's going to trigger it. Cool. He should... it's... Okay, he wants to trigger the special summon effect. You can only use it... You can only use the effect once per turn. So, I guess he really wanted to use its effect to get him another match change. And I think he might be trying to look at double Dark Law to make sure there is no way that Losers can put anything else in his graveyard. Okay, so he just ends turn. And at this point, I wouldn't just use Mass Change in standby. I would actually wait. But he decides to go ahead and do it. To make a second Dark Law. I think I would have waited on that. Like, I would have waited for him to commit. I would have waited for Losers to commit something. Because it's not like I wasn't going to do the play anyway. But I feel like... I don't know. I feel like I would have rather just waited for you to do something. Now, Losers can technically kill one Dark Law. He can use Blaster. He can banish Equips Wyvern and Lightray Diablo, Summon Blaster, and attack. I feel like Bing doesn't need great traps. He just needs decent traps. Like he hasn't hit a trap yet. Like if he was just running simple chainable back row, like compulsive, compulse, bottomless. Well, bottomless isn't chainable, but just running like the pure basics, bottomless, book, compulse, just straight 1-for-1s, nothing extravagant. I feel like if he keep both Dark Laws protected, it'd obviously be game. So he summons Blaster, getting him a JD. I guess right now, no, I still wouldn't have used Max Change now. I would have just waited. Now, if you attack with Blaster, obviously I'm going to try and summon. I'm going to use my Max Change then, but it's like nothing changes. You know what I mean? Unless your opponent like draws Lance, your opponent could draw Lance, I guess. No, wait, I think it's a cost. Target 1. I can't read it now. All right, so Dark Law dies. He is the law. Raiden is totally going to get banished, by the way. And so is this. And everything else that comes down is all going to get banished. So JD gets banished. And Redox gets banished. He doesn't play any targets for redox, so it's not going to trigger. Even if it did, Dark Law would just be like, nah, dog, I want to see your hand. And a card is set. 2 cards are set. And, man, if that's breakthrough skill, it's going to be a problem. Alright, so Bing, not sure what he's going to do. He has Neil's Alias in hand. And you know what? I am going to get more OCG duels. This is fun. I want to see who's going to come up with... I think when heroes... They're not probably going to be tier 1 straight out the gate. It's going to take some refinement. I think it's going to take... When people realize like what the perfect build of that deck is, this shit's going to beat face. For real. Like, Dark Law is too good of a card for it not to... for the deck not to function well. Alright, so he plays... Okay, Mass Charge. And... that's going to get him... Alright, so he's going to put Dark Law back in his deck, and he's going, or back in the extra deck, and he gets a Mass Change. And what's he going to do with that? He's looking at his extra deck. I totally forgot what the light one does. I know I did videos on it, but I mean, he obviously has access to the light one. I think it gains 100 attack for each monster your opponent control. Oh lord, let me stop spouting off random nonsense and let him do his play before I just make up an effect that totally doesn't exist. Alright, so Bing activates another Mass Charge. This time he gets Shadow Mist and probably his other copy of Mass Change. That's what he does. So his hand's pretty much nothing but heroes and changes. And that's cool. You know, looking at this duel, heroes might have to run 3 Dark Laws because of Mass Charge. Like, Mass Charge makes Dark Law so easy to resummon. It might be worthy of run. Well, no, because you can put Dark Law back, I guess, using Mass Charge. I don't know. I feel like he's by far the most important mass hero. You know? And again, isn't the art on this card just great? It's just amazing, isn't it? The cool thing is he can actually use Honest. How awesome is that? Alright, so he's looking at his extra deck. And I mean, you hope that that isn't a Raikou. Alright, so he's just going to Mass Charge his Neil's Alias. And he's bringing out Tadao, Koga. Oh my god, it's 500? Are you fucking kidding me? They made that motherfucker 500? Oh, he's fucking 3,500? What? Oh shit. Dude, they were not thinking when they made that shit fucking... Oh, and he uses the Honest effect, which I wouldn't have used, like, right then and there. Like, why would you use the Honest effect if you were already going to kill... Yeah, of course it's not worth it. You were already going to kill it. Okay, so I guess he is. Alright, so... He gains the attack. Main phase 2. Whoa, I don't know why he didn't ram. Because you don't want your opponent making it exceed. Like, if this is... I don't... Man, you gotta ram. Because if this is like a random level 4 your opponent bluffed with, and unless you, like, set warning. If you set warning or breakthrough skill, okay, I kind of get it then. But if this is like a random... Oh, it is Raikou. Huh. He's going for Dark Law. And he mass changes Dark Law for another Dark Law. So, yeah. Whatever Raikou was going to mill is now going to get banished. Necro Gardener. Damn, he wanted that. Lumina. And JD. We're going to see if these heroes can get the fucking job done. How did they give this motherfucker 500 per monster? I mean, I guess if your opponent has 5 monsters, you deserve to punish them, but shiest, they gave him... I thought, remember when we put, it was an X and 2 zeros, and I said it was probably going to be 1 to 3, and I thought it would be around 2. They made it 500. I mean, to be honest, that's great, because they just made this motherfucker the ultimate beat stick. Remember how Shining was kind of like the ultimate beat stick. You bring him out and he'd be like fucking 3,200 and he would just beat face. This dude is basically that. Not only does he have that built-in honest attack, I mean that built-in pseudo honest effect, but you know, in addition, he's beefy as hell. So let's see. Losers Raikou, he's sitting on the field, kind of sad. And what's worse is he can't. I mean, it's fairly difficult to exceed using Raikou in any Lightsworn deck. It's like not only do you need both Raikous, which most only run like a one of Raikou. It's not like they have any space for Gachi Gachi or anything like that. Not to mention Gachi Gachi would just die from these two attacking. So now the one who's constantly looking at his extra deck is Losers. And you know what? Considering he knew that Bing had all those match changes, I guess he could have read that. You know what I mean? I've never thought that I'd ever see somebody match change a Dark Law into another Dark Law. But in this one situation, it actually saved his bacon. So let's see. You're sitting at 3,000 right now. Damn, that's a lot. You can't use your hero effect because there aren't any light heroes in the graveyard, so your effect isn't going to be able to... You can't use it right now, anyway. Koga's art is... It's okay. I kind of felt like... I wish it was bigger. Like, the way that they have him standing, where he kind of looks like he's on a skateboard, I feel like he doesn't take up enough of... He doesn't take up enough of the square, you know? Like, there's all this empty space in here and stuff like that. But with Shadow Law, it's like, yeah, he's got this kind of football linebacker pose, and he's all like, you know, growling. He's got the spikes on him. He just looks awesome, and I feel like that's the perfect color. I mean, he has kind of the blackish, purple, gray bat armor suit, and then they've got like this really nice, like reddish pink color in the background. Like it's really cool. But with Koga, it's like, wow, it's just a lot of yellow and white, which is cool. He kind of looks like a Power Ranger. But you know what I mean? maybe that was loosely what the mass heroes were based off of. I mean, obviously, it looks like they all have mask and everything, but still. All right, so he plays Soul Charge. He goes Kari Bandit, Lumina, Eren. I'm sorry. Every time I say Eren now, I'm gonna be like Eren. I'm gonna think Attack on Titan. always when. Mikasa's like Eden. I find that hilarious. Alright, so what can he do with these Engineer? That's the only one that makes any sense. Soul Charge gets banished, by the way. He eats. Oh, he's going Leviair. Huh, forgot about that. Uh-oh. Is he gonna make 101? That would be bad. That would be bad. Because Dark Law would totally die. And it's not like Losers doesn't have card advantage by like cotillions. Although he would have to leave that Raikou in attack mode, and that could be bad for him too. Because that Raikou is just sitting out there with no protection, and he looks mad as hell. Alright, so Leviair, what are you bringing back? The Leviair play seems pretty obvious. Okay, so he's bringing back Raiden. He's going to exceed with Raiden for probably 101. He does exceed for Raiden using 101. Or he does exceed for 101 using Raiden. He takes Dark Law. Damn, Dark Law. The one card that could have stopped you. And Losers finally activates a Solar Recharge he's been holding for like 5 turns. And he immediately equips Wyvern, who I think is like, isn't Lightray Diablos like the only thing left to get? It's like so much of his fucking deck is banished. Now I would imagine he has to have at least one Dragon Ruler in hand. Soul Charge is a ridiculous card. Now I wonder if Bing might Soul Charge him back. So he triggers Wyvern for equips, for Lightray Diablos, which again I don't even know if he has any JDs left. I mean, I think there could be a JD in his hand. But outside of that, I don't know. Lightray Diablos is cheap as hell. 32 cents. I mean, I think it was a secret rare when it first came out in. I'm not even gonna try and guess what set the Lightrays came out in. Wait a minute. No. Was it Judgment? Judgment of the Light makes the most sense because that's when Bujins came out, and I guess that makes a lot of sense that they would come out in that. So maybe they came out in that. I feel like they may have came out way before that though. Yeah, I feel like they came out before that. I'm trying to think of another set that like really had a focus on light. It's not Light of Destruction because that was just pretty much Light Swarm. Alright, so damn it, losers, what are you doing? You already played Soul Charge, so you can't attack, and there's no way in hell you can drop JD this turn because you only have like 2 names in your graveyard. You have Raiden and something else. Alright, now I guess you could load him up. He pitches Garoth. Maybe he wants to get Garoth back. Nope. This time he's getting Raiden, and I guess he's going to Synchro. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he Black Rose the field. Just to get Raikou off board. Okay, no, so he makes Michael. Huh, forgot about that card. Okay, so he pays 1,000. And he banishes Koga. And I believe Michael Mills. Oh, you know what? He's going to gain some life points too. That's let's see. When this card is destroyed, okay, that's only if it's destroyed during the end phase, you mill 3. And down comes Judgment Dragon. And it looks like he's gonna mill 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess he figured, hey, I'm going to win. You're not going to be able to attack me anymore. And that Necro Gardener may have cinched a victory. He only has 2 cards. It'd be crazy if he set Waboku. That would be awesome, right? He looks at his opponent's deck of 2 cards. The problem is, I don't know how being with only 4 cards can escape the wrath of Judgment Dragon. How can you escape the wrath of Judgment Dragon? Unless you make 101, that totally escapes the wrath of Judgment Dragon then. So he plays Upstart Goblin. And another Upstart Goblin. Alright, so he's not going to win this turn during damage. He cannot deal 3,900 damage in 1 turn. I just don't see it happening. Especially through a Necro Gardener. And now Bing is just milling cards for some reason. Banishing? I'm not sure what's happening. I'm really not sure what he's doing. I mean, maybe he meant to play Pot of Duality, which I kind of get. The problem with the double Upstart is Judgment Dragon could have only triggered once last turn, and now it can trigger 3 times. Yeah, I guess he meant to play Pot of Duality. How is he just realizing that? It's not on the field. Alright, so he hit Miracle Fusion, which he obviously will not take. Shadow Mist, and I don't know, that's why I just tend not to like Upstart Goblin as a card. Like, sometimes it's, I don't know, I feel like in too many situations, that 1,000 life points actually becomes relevant. Because even if you can't, like, even if you couldn't do enough damage to potentially, like, you know, win. Like, let's say he could have summoned, I don't know, 2 random beaters or some shit like that. I feel like you still wouldn't want your opponent using Judgment Dragon 3 times potentially. You know, what if he could have only used it once? I feel like you would have been in a better position. So, anyways, Bing can't come back against that field, and that is good game. Thank you guys for watching, as always.